Hello guys, welcome to my channel Q Analysis, and today we are going to talk about all those automation testers who are a little
Hello
bit
guys.
disappointed because even after learning a lot of automation techniques and learning everything about automation, when they're trying to switch from manual testing to automation testing, they're finding it hard. So in today's webinar, in today's presentation, I'll talk about some tips and techniques how a software tester who is a manual tester right now and who has figured out automation testing things and he has mastered the art of automation testing, he can switch from manual testing to automation testing in a successful manner without getting disappointed. So here we are. Are you failing to prove your automation skills? This is the topic of today's presentation, today's webinar. Here we go. In order to answer this question, that are you able to establish yourself as an automation tester, you have to ask certain more questions, and depending on the answers to those questions, you have to take actions. So this is the key. If you really want to establish yourself as a good automation expert, somebody with a nice knowledge of test automation, then you have to figure out answers to certain questions. And depending upon the answers, you have to take certain actions. What are these questions and what should be the desired actions which you have to take depending on the answer to those questions? I'll discuss it in my upcoming slides. So here we are. These are the few questions. I'm listing 5 main questions in front of you. These are the 5 main questions which you need to ask if you really want to establish yourself as an automation tester. First, are you stuck with your career even after learning automation? You know automation, you know software automation, you have worked upon several kind of frameworks, you have learned different kind of automation methodologies, techniques, but still, do you feel that you are stuck in your current profile, in your current career? Second, you are least interested in manual testing. Like initial days, you were interested in manual testing or functional testing, but in due course of time, as time passed by, you found yourself more interested in automation testing and least interested in manual testing. So is it the case? Less opportunities and more competition. Yes. You are a software tester and you feel that you have a little bit less opportunities and competition is growing day by day. There are so many different kind of people who are getting into software automation testing. Like for example, software engineer SEDT roles or somebody like developers, they're also doing the automation thing. We have performance testing, we have hardcore automation testers, deep learning, machine learning, different kind of people. So if you see that you have opportunities, job opportunities, career opportunities, they are shrinking for you and your competition is increasing, you have to figure out answer to those questions. Looking for a higher wages, yes. You're working in a current role and you see your salary is not increasing because you are a average tester who is doing normal software validation verification kind of thing, but you want a higher salary, and you see in industry higher salary is given only to those guys or girls who are good in automation testing, software test automation. Guys who have software test automation in their job profile or in their resume or in their CV, they are the ones who are being called upon for the interviews, and they are the ones who are given good pay or rises or different kind of opportunities in the current IT market. So that is very common nowadays. So if you have something like that in your mind, you wish to be updated with the changing IT environment. There are many people who don't have any of the issues as mentioned the earlier 4 questions, and they are one of the last one, which is like they want to be updated with the changing IT world. The world of IT is so dynamic and keeps on changing on day-to-day basis. Like few years back, STLC was the main thing which was practiced as a part of software testing, but now STLC has been replaced by agile methodologies, and then you have Kanban, Scrumban, different kind of methodologies coming in, and people are getting into automation testing. Earlier they used to do more of the manual testing, now they do more of the automation testing, and the future is DevOps. They will do integrated automation testing in a continuous manner, continuous integration, continuous testing, and continuous delivery. If you want to learn more about CI, continuous integration, continuous testing, and continuous deployment or delivery, Please feel free to refer my other video, other webinars. I have a list of webinars on different kind of software testing, different kind of testing techniques, different kind of career paths. Feel free to subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that every time when I have a new video, you'll get the notification. Please feel free to share it with your friends as well. Now, depending upon the questions what we asked right now, those 5 questions, they are the base of your analysis. Okay, being a manual tester, or being an automation tester, or being a non-functional tester, or you are somebody who is doing your day-to-day job, but then there are certain kind of things which you're looking, certain kind of expectations which you have with respect to your career growth, which I mentioned in the previous slide. Ask all those 5 questions. And depending upon the answers, when you get answers to those 5 questions, you have to take actions. And let's say all those people who are watching this video, or all those people who are watching my live webinar, they are interested to grow as an automation tester. They might be an existing automation tester, or they might be somebody with manual testing who learned automation testing through some kind of organization or through some training, or it may happen they are somebody who have learned automation testing on their own using online resources, and then they're trying to grow as automation testers. So all those kind of people, you have to take certain actions. And what are those actions? Let's go ahead and talk about few such actions. First, learning automation on your own. Even if you have practiced automation in past and you take a break and you leave it, I'm pretty sure in due course of time you'll forget it. If you have learned automation through any of the organizations, let's say using any of the companies who provide automation training, or with somebody who is helping you to learn automation, but in due course of time, you have to establish yourself by the method of self-learning, learning on your own. You have to learn the programming basics. You have to keep on practicing different kind of hands-on and tutorials. Create your own ID, integrate it with Selenium. I'm talking typically in this video, I'm talking about Selenium. There could be different kind of, like you can also work upon JMeter if you are a performance automation tester. So you can work on JMeter and you can have similar kind of thing over there itself. And then you have to select what to automate. Yes, this is your problem statement. This is very important point which most of the people they neglect or they ignore when they start to learn automation. They just want to know different kind of techniques, whereas they are not interested in figuring out what is the business problem, what is the main problem which you want to solve by implementing your automation skills. So you have to figure out, you have to know what to automate. What is the most important component, or what is the most important feature, or what is the most important service which you should automate, which as of now is causing problem, or which as of now when done using manual execution, or when it is done via manual testing, it is not very beneficial, it is time consuming, it is repetitive, and clients or maybe you yourself, you're losing your effort, you're losing your time. So it seems to be a good candidate for automation. You have to select such kind of candidates. Then understand the implementation. You have to understand how exactly you're going to implement the automation, the whole structure of automation which you're going to implement, and how you're going to do it. It includes different kind of techniques, frameworks, and then you have to decide upon the approach. Like, will it be a modular approach? Will it be a hybrid approach? Will it be a functional approach? Or will it be something which is a mix and match? Something like that. So you have to decide upon a different kind of approach, different kind of implementation techniques, framework, and then start automating. You have to start with test automation. Only when all of this analysis, all of this hands-on basics, programming, item selection, understanding the implementation, and approach decision has been made, then actually you start coding. At this point of time, you start automation. And once your automation script is ready, the whole stuff is ready, you have to test it. You cannot go and say that, yeah, it is working, I have done the automation and in my system it works fine, so I believe it is working okay. No. You have to test it thoroughly in your system, in other system, in open environment, and then modify according to the different kind of errors what you're getting. You have to add certain kind of recovery scenarios, and then improve. Yes, you have to improve a bit depending upon the different kind of inputs, different kind of feedback you're getting. You have to improve, and then again test, modify till the time you get a final product which is good enough to be used not only by you but by anybody else on any system, whichever is applicable to your testing. So this is what you have to do, and this can nobody will teach you this. You have to learn on your own. You have to learn automation on your own. Nobody can teach you. You have to practice, and then only you can learn this skill. Check what you can automate now. As I said, this is selecting what you can automate. That is a very important question. In your current project or organization, figure out what is repetitive task, what is a time-consuming task, or different kind of test which is consuming a lot of your time. These are the good candidates which you can automate. Come up with your approach on how you can automate them. You have to decide upon different kind of approaches which you can use for automating such kind of scenarios. Check if your project or organization has some usable, reusable framework or functions. Many times it happens that you are not aware of the thing that which is already present. Like there might be a repository wherein you have different kind of frameworks which was used by dev team or somebody already who was the automation tester in your existing organization, and then he created a kind of framework, but then he left the organization, and then you can go ahead and reuse it. Or different kind of functions which is already present, you can borrow some function and use it, reuse it. So there is no need of reinventing the wheel again. This will save your effort, and also you'll get a nice idea, okay, how exactly the flow is taking place. This will increase your thinking process. This will increase your implementation process. And being a tester, being a software tester, it is very important. You should be having an open mind, and you should be ready to adapt things and learn things. So check for all these things. Check if you can use any online resources or need to start from scratch. Many times people, what they do as soon as they start automating things, they go ahead and start writing things from scratch. No, that's a very bad habit. Please don't do that. If you really want to grow as an automation tester, a successful automation tester, try how much you can use every organization. Like just imagine a scenario if there's a candidate who is going to automate a functionality and he's writing everything from scratch, and it's a big function. If it is a small function, you can do it in few hours, that's fine. But let's say if it is a big functionality or a big application and you start to write code from scratch, design the framework and define functions, stub driver and everything, so you're doing all those stuff, you'll see it will take a large amount of time. Whereas there's another candidate who is doing similar kind of automation for the same kind of project, but he's going and doing some analysis in terms of if at all there is any reusable material present, maybe online or offline. Can you get it something on the online resources? Just Google it out, go to the search engines, or maybe you can figure out something at your company repository, take it up, change it, modify it, reuse it. So right, the other guy who is doing it, he's getting a lot many other ideas. There are three benefits. First, he's getting a lot many other ideas, new ideas, not only his idea, whereas the first guy, he was getting just his idea and he's implemented it. When he's done half at that point of time, he'll get to know what is good and what is bad. Whereas the other guy, he already has a ready-made framework or code which he can use, so he knows what is the good and bad points if he's properly analyzing it, and then depending upon his thought process, he can go ahead and implement it. Time taken for the second guy is much obvious, it is less, but obvious it is less, and for the first guy it will be more because he is doing things from scratch. And third thing, chances of getting success for the first guy is more because already it was worked upon by somebody and he's just re-implementing it, adding his own ideas. So features will be more, it will be more enhanced, rich. Whereas the first guy, when he's doing it from scratch, so he has to face through all those problems and doing things on his own. So these are the different kind of benefits which you get when you use reusable content either from your organization repository or from the online resources. Learn from open source code and framework. It is extension to the slide what we talked about in my previous one, and it talks about learning from open source code and framework. Yes, friends, nowadays you can get lot many open source projects which are available on GitHub. You can get different kind of framework. Just go ahead and grab it. Go to GitHub, have a local copy of a working open source code, try to understand it, how things are implemented, what exactly are working. You can clone projects, you can edit the existing framework, you can add new features and functionalities to the existing framework, and you can create your own GitHub repository. Once you are done with everything, you can just create your own GitHub repository, which is a very good way to showcase your skill set. Like, just imagine anybody to whom you are saying that I am an automation tester. Instead of that, you're showcasing your repository to that person. You can showcase this repository link to your LinkedIn profile, to your uh, CV, resume, or to any person to whom you are discussing things. You can give them your repository link, and they can see what kind of work you have done and what exactly is your understanding level, right? So this way, you can showcase your skill set. You can show to the world what exactly you know and how you're implementing things. Moving on to the next slide, which is very important. I personally believe this is a very important point, which everybody should understand, which is help community and community helps you. Yes, friends. You, being a software tester, you have to be a part of, all of us, we are part of a big community, software testing community. And software testing community is a big part or a subset of a bigger community, that is IT or software development community. So all of us, we are connected to each other through community. Feel free to connect to community members, join automation testers forum, communities, and groups. You can find them at LinkedIn, you can find them at Google, you can join through media, different kind of blog, Quora, or any other system. You can join different kind of communities and group wherein people, they ask questions. You can also contribute by asking questions if you have any kind of doubt. I mean, most of the time it happens whenever you go there and ask a question, somebody already, like a Stack Overflow, somebody has already asked a question. All you need to do is to see the answers and you'll figure out, because what you do, what kind of issues you are facing, it might have happened that somebody else has faced same kind of situation, and there are so many answers available. So many a time whenever I face any problem, I go to any of these communities, I post my question or problem, I see already there are certain answer, or somebody, they, when they see my post, they reply back, and 90% of the times I get a good and reasonable solution to my question. Similar way, if you know something, feel free to contribute to the community by answering those questions. If you see somebody has asked a question and you know answer to it, don't hesitate. Yes, friends, please don't hesitate to put in your answers. Just go ahead and write back your answer. Nothing is good, nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Don't worry, it is just an online community. So all you can do is go ahead and post your comment, post your observation, post your thoughts, ask questions, and help answering others' questions. In this way, the whole community will come together, and we as a community can grow together. You can also attend different kind of meetups, learn from personal experience, and share your personal experiences as well. Yes, never forget to attend different kind of meetup because it is very helpful. You tend to network and you tend to connect with different people having the same kind of thought process, and you learn from each other's experiences. Now, moving towards our next slide, we are going to talk about showcasing your automation skills. Yes, you might be a very good automation tester, having a very good knowledge and skill set regarding automation testing, but what is the point if you cannot showcase it at right time, at right place? Yes, friends, present your automation solution to your team and project stakeholders. First of all, let's take a scenario that you are in a project and you're working over there as a manual tester, and you have learned automation using automation testing online resources through videos, and then you want to showcase you have done something, all those points what you mentioned in the previous slides, you have worked on those slides, and now you know good set of automation, but nobody in your team is visible about your position. Nobody knows about this thing, that you are a good at automation and you're a good automation tester. What is the point? So whatever you did, it is all in vain. Again, you have to go out of your company, out of your organization, and start working and looking for a new organization who can understand your position. But then the problem is, whenever you go for such kind of interviews, your role in the previous organization is still a manual tester. So nobody is going to believe it to you. When they ask you a question, okay, what is your automation test experience? You will say, I worked for 5 years as a manual tester and I have learned automation on my own, which is of no good, right? Because you are having an expectation to switch to a company with the automation experience of 5 years, total experience of 5 years, but for the same position, some other guy with the automation experience of 5 years is applying. So just think from the recruiting point of view, they have two candidates. One candidate is a manual tester for 5 years officially, and he has learned automation testing on his own. And there's the other candidate who is a automation tester having 5 years of experience. What do you think? Who will be selected? It's a obvious question, right? The guy with the 5 year experience. And that is what is happening, guys. When you learn things on your own, you are unable to showcase it at the right time at the right place. You go out to the market and start thinking to get for a job, or get into a job, but you don't get it because even after putting so much effort, nobody is ready to give you a job as an automation tester because on paper, on your resume, on your previous profile, you never had a real-time automation experience. But then you're seeking for a job with the automation experience and you need a salary which the company is offering for an automation tester experience, which you don't have practically. So I hope you understand what is the problem. In order to in order to come over such kind of problems, you have to come up with a solution, something like that. Showcase your automation skill in your existing team and in your project to your project stakeholders. Show what problem you have solved and what benefits have you achieved. You have to come up with different kind of things like, okay, I have automated this Excel comparison sheet wherein people they put in different kind of data in the Excel and then this data file is compared and then depending on that a result is being prepared. But this used to take time because we used to manually select the Excel rows and then compare it and figure out the result. So instead of that, I have written a macro, and this macro you can execute at night on different kind of batch files. As a result, 10,000 files, they are being processed in a batch of 1,000 each, and in 10 hours all of these batch files are processed, and next morning we get a result in a PDF format, in a Word format, results being written in the way you want. So this is just an example. Figure out the problem you solved and what benefits you have achieved. Explain the approach to your teammates, to your friends. Ask for their feedback. Get to know there are so many people who are interested in automation, but until unless you ask for the feedback, nobody will come and give the feedback to you. Ask for the feedback, take the feedback, and depending on the feedback, work on it. Change this feedback into feed forward. Yes, friend. And then create your own open source repository, include it in your profile. As I mentioned earlier, you have to showcase your skill set not only within your team but also in your profile, so that anybody who is visiting your profile, they should also be aware of the kind of things you have been doing in past and you have been doing using automation. Just by looking at the code, trust me, 90% of the time looking at the code, looking at the thing what you have worked upon, looking at the code, somebody can tell you who is having experience. They can tell you, okay, what kind of automation tester you are, what are the standards you are following. So showcase your skills, showcase your automation skills. Never hesitate on that. Practice online and offline. Yes, practicing is also very important. Last but not the least, you have to practice. You have to be in touch. If you are working automation testing and sometimes you get disheartened, you stop practicing, whole of your knowledge is gone. Until you practice the concept, and then you implement it on day-to-day basis. Try creating your own examples. Try to come up with your examples and implementation. Write meaningful and interesting comments. That is also very important point. Looking at the code, the comments which are written across them, they are also very important, and sometimes meaningful and interesting comments, they attract a lot. Share your thoughts. Practice anywhere and everywhere, wherever you get a chance. Feel free to practice automation, maybe inside your company, on a forum, in a hackathon, or in some kind of places where you have some automation challenges going on. Feel free to participate and practice. Gain more and more visibility. It's all about making yourself more and more visible. Until unless you go ahead and do right kind of talent showcasing, you're not going to be hit, or you're not going to have a right kind of visibility. Until unless you have the right kind of visibility, nobody will offer you a job. Trust me. You have a past of working as a manual tester, now you want to switch into automation tester, that too without any kind of visibility and without any kind of hands-on experience. What do you think? Somebody will go ahead and hire you? No. Strict no, until unless you showcase your skill set and you showcase the thing that yes, even though I was working as a manual tester, it doesn't matter. I'm a good automation tester. I have a high automation testing skills, and I'm good at coding. I'm good at understanding. I'm good at implementing, and I'm good at showcasing and solving business solutions, business problems, and helping with business solutions, saving time and effort. This is what I do as automation tester. And you can see it through my repository, the kind of solutions I have prepared, the kind of apps I have prepared, the kind of questions I have answered, the kind of repository I maintain. And this way you gain more and more and more visibility. Okay, friends? With this, we come to the last slide of our presentation, which talks about the key principles to success. I have figured out 10 key principles to the success. Even in one of my previous slides, I have shared this principle, but I think it is worth mentioning these principles over here. Work on the attitude. 80% is your attitude and 20% is your skill when it comes to the success in your career. So you have to work upon your attitude, come out of your comfort zone, start practicing, start putting efforts, and start pushing yourself. Then only you can achieve success. Make commitment to learning coding. Yes, you have to have a commitment made towards coding, programming, or understanding the code. You have to make a commitment. Understand that gaining theoretical knowledge is just the first step. When you're trying to understand things, you're getting knowledge. It is just the first place. After that, you have to implement it. Practice, practice, and practice like crazy. Until you practice, see, there are a few guys who started as software developer, or some guys who started as software test automation experts and from the beginning itself. So they have practiced day and night. After 3, 4, 5 years, they're good at automation, or they're supposed to be good at automation and programming and coding skills. But then you started as a manual tester, and after 3, 4, 5 years, you want to switch into automation testing. You need to do things in a better way what others are doing. So a typical automation tester or software developer, when he's writing a code, if not better than him, you have to be comparable to him. And how can you achieve that? You can achieve it just by practicing. You have to practice like crazy. Start small. The smaller you start your test cases, the smaller they are, it is easier for you to debug, maintain, and reuse. Yes, start small, and slowly on top of that, you can keep on increasing the complexity, and you'll see the difference coming up. Recognize opportunities when you see them. Yes, you have to recognize opportunity, take opportunities. Opportunities can come to you in any form, any way. Just imagine in your team you see something which can be automated. I gave an example of that sheet comparison thing and reporting thing, batch processing, right? Or it can come as a in a form of a question on a community or a channel, or it can come as a form of talk or presentation in a meetup or webinar. So recognize the opportunities and go ahead. Network and make yourself visible. It is very important, made with social media or personal networking or professional networking. It is very important. You have to get in touch with the like-minded people. You have to showcase your skill set. You have to do your branding. You have to self-market yourself, and this can be done only by networking, which is very important. If you really want to know different types of networking techniques which will be helpful for you, do let me know in the comment section, and I'll add more on those lines. I'll come up with a webinar to help you, all those software professional and IT professional, how they can do their branding and marketing. Okay, manual testing is the core. Never leave the basics. Yes, manual testing is the core. You like it or not, you have to be expert in the manual testing before you become expert in automation testing. And you know why I'm saying that? Because unless you're finding a business critical defect and you're solving it using automation, there is no point of automation, right? So you have to figure out business critical issues using automation and solve it. Then your automation skills will be rewarded. So be aware of these things. Use your tester instinct to find bugs via automation and never stop learning. Yes, friends, you should never stop learning. Learning is the key. The day you stop learning, there is no more scope to grow, and then I can't help it. Even I don't think anybody else can help you. So being a tester, you always have to use your software testing skills, and you should be ready to find bugs, maybe via manual automation. But when you're doing automation, try to figure out how exactly can you find bugs which a manual tester is finding. How exactly you can find similar kind of bugs using automation. Think on those lines. The day you have achieved certain kind of expertise level, that is the day when nobody can stop you from getting your dream job. Okay, guys. With this, we come to the end of this presentation. This is me, Prashant Kumar, a QA evangelist and software test enthusiast. I'm a computer science engineering graduate, having a PG specialization management from Harvard University and ICMS Sydney. I have 14 years of experience. Earlier, I started as a Java developer, then business analyst, test consultant, and finally quality head. I worked with major IT firms, investment banks, and startups across USA, UK, Switzerland, Germany, and India. Feel free to get in touch with me for any kind of QA-related suggestions, query. I do provide different kind of mentorship services, so feel free to get in touch with me. I can help you with different kind of career mentorship. in IT or software testing or quality analysis, you can get in touch with me. If you haven't subscribed my channel till now, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified for videos next time when you see them. Okay, friends, have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.